Magandang araw mga kabalen, Maya Paldo kabalen at magandang araw mga karehyon. Ako po si Sonia P. Soto at ito ang So to Speak. Katatapos lamang nating ipagdiwang ang Ninoy Aquino Day noong Agosto 21 at National Heroes Day nitong Agosto 25. Sa totoo lang, hindi naman National Heroes Day yung Agosto 25 nilipat lang ng Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Dapat Agosto 30, August 30 ang National Heroes Day. Pero dahil daw ito sa tinatawag na holiday economics. Anyway, dalawang okasyon nagpapaalala ng kabayanihan ng mga Pilipino na hindi lamang nakapako sa ating kasaysayan, kundi patuloy na nabubuhay sa ating panahon. Ngayong araw, sisilipin natin ang kabayanihan noon at ngayon. Paano ba nagbabago ang kahulugan ng kabayanihan sa bawat henerasyon? Marahil mula sa mata ng isang PhilAm o ng isang Kapampangan cultural advocate. Upang higit nating maunawaan, panoorin muna natin ang inihanda namin o ng ating team na VTR. Roll VTR.
Ng Filipino ay nagsimula bago pa man dumating ang mga dayuhan. Mayroon na tayong mga bayaning nagtatanggol sa ating bayan. Alam ba ninyo na si Dayang Kalangitan, isang babaeng pinuno sa Tondo, noong 15 siglo ay tinuturing na isa sa mga unang babaeng lider sa ating kasaysayan. Isang paalala na ang kabayanihan ay hindi nakatali sa kasarian. Pagsapit ng panahon ng kolonyalismo, sumibol ang mga bayani tulad ni Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio at Gabriela Silang at marami pang iba. Ngunit hindi lamang sila, mayroon din mga unsung heroes gaya ni Pedro Calosa, isang lider magsasaka sa Tayog, Pangasinan na lumaban para sa karapatan ng mga ordinaryong tao. Ngayon, ang kabayanihan ay may bagong mukha. Mahigit 11 milyong OFWs na nagsisilbi makabagong bayani. Kasama rin dito mga guro, frontliners, sundalo at mga kabataan na naglilingkod sa kanilang komunidad. Sa bawat panahon, mula pre-colonial, colonial hanggang modernong lipunan, may mga bayani nagbubuwis ng buhay, lakas at oras para sa kapwa. Kabayanihan noon at ngayon, isang patuloy na kwento, isang patuloy na panata ng bawat Pilipino.
Ganda, no? Galing yan sa The Filipino Story. Kasama natin ngayong araw ang mga espesyal na panauhin na magbibigay linaw at mas malalim na pananaw tungkol sa kabayanihan. Isang Kapampangan cultural advocate na suki na natin sa ating programa dito sa CLTV 36. Naghatid sa atin ng The Filipino Story, makakasama natin, welcome back, Josie Castro.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me back.
Salamat sa pagdalo. Salamat, Josie. At para sa ating susunod na panauhin, syempre, galing pa ito sa Amerika, no? Kanya at aalis na bukas. Kanya kailangan natin panoorin ang kanyang maikling kwento. Very interesting talaga ang kwento ng taong ito. Roll VTR.
Growing up, I really didn't like being Filipino. I didn't. I wasn't proud to be Filipino. I didn't have any reason to be proud. Straight up. I wanted to be Hawaiian in high school. I wanted to be Hawaiian because everybody loved Hawaii. They didn't talk about the Philippines, and when they did talk about the Philippines, it was not good. You know, kidnappings in the Philippines, poverty, corruption, and you're like, why would I want to be a part of that? And then those immigrants would come, and the jokes came. It's like, oh, they're a bunch of fobs, fresh off the boat. So growing up, I never really wanted to be Filipino. It didn't change until I was over 40. Before that, it was all business. It was all making money. That's who I was. But it happened 16, 17 years ago, and really saw the Philippines. That's where it all changed. Being there and walking through those slums and feeling what I felt. You know, I just felt their pain. And I felt their joy. And I'm just like, what the hell is that? How do you feel pain and how do you feel joy? What the hell is this thing going on in my heart? I never felt that in my life before. These are like strangers. These were supposed to be the bad people that made me look bad. These were supposed to be the kidnappers. And I'm the guy who walks in there who has everything. And I walked out of there with something more. And instead of me giving them something, they gave me something back. I felt something in my heart. I felt this connection. And it was pure. There's this like thing that I was feeling about them, and I could never explain what it was. But it made me happy, and it made me feel good. It was the day I became Filipino. It was the day I felt them and they felt me. I went on that trip to the Philippines as an American, but I came back as a Filipino. And that was the biggest gift that I could ever have. I fell in love with the people, and I fell in love with a country that I never knew. And it came back and it lived right there. And I said, our people need to know. My cousins need to know. My friends need to know. And that's really where I was on a mission to tell the truth. And that's kind of where I'm at today.
Ayan, ang creator ng The Filipino Story, isang animation series na pinalabas na natin sa CLTV 36 at content platform tungkol sa ating pagka-Pilipino. Tuwan-tuwa ako dahil magkakaroon na ito ng Kapampangan version at kamakailan lang meron na ring Filipino version na ipapalabas din dito sa CLTV 36. Welcome to CLTV 36, Tony Olaes.
Thank you for having me.
Sana hindi magkapilipitan dila ako, no? English, Kapampangan, Tagalog. So multilingual tayo dito. Ang ganda ng storya. You have a beautiful story, and thank you for sharing it because I have relatives who are also who were born and raised in the U.S. and we have been trying our very best to also tell them about the Philippines. Tulad mo, they had bad impressions too.
Yeah.
But increasingly, after letting them into, the cultural revival we're doing in Pampanga, more and more they're interested in coming back and helping us out with our cultural renaissance, no? Like Josie, for example. So, that story of yours originally ran for 4 minutes, so we just took that part. No? So I wanted to ask you, for the benefit of those who are watching us, you said that your mindset changed after you went to the Philippines, joined the Gawad Kalinga activities. What was it about that experience of yours, that particular experience of yours, that made you rethink about your roots and about wanting to be Filipino instead of being Hawaiian, for example?
Sonia, in Gawad Kalinga, I was introduced to that NGO by my uncle. Mm-hmm. And I came to visit because my mom and dad chose to live here after living 50 years in the United States. And when my parents opted to move to the Philippines, it made me mad.
Yeah,
I said,
50 years.
Yeah, I said, why would you want to go to the Philippines? It's dangerous, you see. But that dangerous really comes from an American psyche. It's American
Perspective.
You've been indoctrinated to American television. Lahat, everything.
Yeah.
And so you think that way. That is your culture. It is the American culture. And it does not favor the Philippines. Like there are so many things I didn't know. And at the same time, growing up in America with Filipino parents, they spoke Tagalog to me at home, but we weren't allowed to speak it outside. It was assimilate as much as possible. So it wasn't until they chose to move to the Philippines, and I didn't want them to, but they ended up moving here, and that's really where I came. And it was an uncle who invited me to play golf, because he knew I played golf, and I've never met him. And he was the one, while we're playing golf, I said, Uncle, what do you do for a living? He says, I sell insurance, and I spend the other half helping the poor. And as an American capitalist, you say, I said to him, I said, Uncle, why would you waste your time with the poor? Are you crazy? Isn't your wife going to do something? Come on. But it wasn't until I was asking him a few questions, and he was telling me about this NGO called Gawad Kalinga. And I said, he was describing it, you know, it's everybody coming together, and these villages rise up, and I said, look, like Habitat for Humanity? And he goes, yeah, but better. And
Better, huh?
yeah, to an American, you're
Yeah,
saying that?
yes, of course.
You see? Then that American arrogance came out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Uncle, stop. There is nothing better in the Philippines that is better than anything in the United States. It's that simple. He goes, no, I'll show you. And I said, And I'm thinking the whole time that he's just trying to raise some funds. He's going to show me this perfect village.
Yeah.
But that was really the turning point, is when I walked into that village. Okay. In that village, you know, there were a bunch of kids there, and they ran up to me, and they manopod me. And, you know, while they would manopod me, I would go, where's my hand sanitizer? Right?
Yeah.
But the transformation happened in that village. I mean, he would introduce me from house to house to house, where one side of the community were these little tiny colorful houses, and the other side were shanties. And I could see the transformation, but he would introduce me from house to house to house, and I would come in there, and he would say, hey, this is my nephew from the States, you know, and they would say, oh, anak, okay, opo, oh, kain na tayo, and no different from my aunt and uncles in the States. You know, you go to a Filipino house, and you know, the Filipino hospitality. It wasn't until I went, while he was talking, setting me up for the next house, I went across the other way to the shanties, and I would just peek inside, and every single house I went to, as bad as it looked, they welcomed me the same, and they smiled the same. And I said, well, wait a minute. I thought I was being set up for a donation, but I felt something here. And that was the transformation. And I couldn't explain what I was feeling.
And how old were you then? That was 20 years ago?
Yeah. So 40. I'm 60.
Yeah, bata pa.
Yeah. That was the moment where I knew I wasn't feeling just guilty. There was something more that was powerful that I was feeling here. And I could share it now because I know, but I didn't know then what I was feeling. You see? But that was the moment. That was the moment.
Yeah. And you were born there in the U.S.?
Yes. San Diego, California.
Yeah. And but Josie, you were not born in the U.S. You studied here, but you went to work there?
Yes, born and raised here, but then pretty much all my adult life was spent there. 40 years actually,
40
before I
years.
came back here.
Oo. Pero Kapampangan ka, Josie.
Kapampangan ko pong Kapampangan. Puso ko Kapampangan
Kilala
pa rin.
kita tang ng Josie kasi.
Tangbilyong.
Oo,
Hi, Dad!
Tambilyong. Hello, Tambilyong.
Tangbilyong.
We call him Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 40 years kang megobra ka rin.
Wow, 40 years. It's a long time. But that connection with Pampanga, connection with the motherland, never left me. It really never left me. In fact, I got involved in Gawad Kalinga as well. That's where.
So that's where you met.
Yeah, that's where Tony and I met.
Oh.
Tony was the chair of Gawad Kalinga U.S. Foundation, and I was a board member. So we had the chance to work together.
And that was how many years ago? 2 decades ago?
Almost 2 decades ago. Yeah.
And that's where did you work on the Filipino story together, or when did you start working on the Filipino story?
The Filipino story was probably about 3 years ago,
Yeah.
4 years ago, okay, that we were producing it. But Josie and I have known each other for so long because when you work in Gawad Kalinga, and we're all volunteers,
Right.
we just want to see our people and our country rise.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's why we do it. It wasn't like we were paid, but we wanted to see change. I mean, real change. But every time I would go back to the States and try to share Gawad Kalinga, you know, for the most part, you're speaking into no listening. Right? They're like, hey, bro, and these are people that I would know, and they say, hey, you know, bro, I got my own problems. You know, I can't help somebody else on the other side of the world, and look, I don't even go there. You know, and you know, I only donate to a few little foundations here, so that was the disconnect, and that's where I knew, how do I get them to feel the way I feel?
Right.
And that's when I started inviting friends to come with me to the Philippines. Yes.
So you started
Yes.
your own immersion program.
Absolutely. Because I needed to trace what happened to me. And
So you
could I?
invited Philam then?
Yes. And they were scared, Sonia. They didn't want to come. They thought they were going to get kidnapped. And that's in the psyche of
Yes.
most Philams, especially my generation.
And you said you started doing the Filipino story together with Bani and Mai Logroño about 3 years ago, because I met them last year, and I interviewed them also in the same program together with Josie.
Right.
And ever since, we have been promoting the Filipino story. And I've been sending and also I love the videos of Chow. Oh, Chow Chua. I love them because, you know, they are actually addressing questions coming from the young generation of Philams, di ba?
Yes.
Kanya, masanting niya ang ganda. So I really hope we can also broadcast them here. But, you know, our topic today is about Kabayanihan. In one of your interviews with John
Deng.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Deng, you said that you appreciated the Filipino way of doing things, pagtutulungan, which we call kabayanihan. Kabayanihan also comes from the word bayani, no? Bayanihan also comes from the word bayani, and bayani means hero.
Yes.
So it's all about heroism. No? So, pag lisaupan, tumutulong sa kapwa, you say, I heard you know, those were your,
Yes.
the words that you used, bayanihan, what was the other one?
Kapwa.
Yeah, kapwa, and then the other
Kabutihang
one.
loob.
Kabutihang loob. Those three. You said that these are the things that you wanted to tell the younger generations of film. That's the reason why you created the Filipino story.
Yeah. And Sonia, I grew up not knowing any of this. So when you grow up in another country, in another culture, they only teach you their culture. But I
Yes,
would look in the
of course.
mirror and I would just see, I'm not with it. Okay. But I wanted to know.
Yes.
And because I was so Americanized, and because it was so difficult when I was doing my work with Gawad Kalinga to reach out to my friends and family on what I was doing, I knew I needed to tell a story. And I had probably been back and forth to the Philippines doing whatever I could to help out, because that's all my heart was saying. My new born-again Filipino heart just kept saying, keep going back and help. But I wanted to bring more. And that's really what birthed the Filipino story, was, can I tell the story that I now know of what happened? Because those of us in America, we're the highest per capita Filipino on the planet. We make American dollars, you see? And
Yes.
that's strong financial might that could be redirected here to the Philippines. But I knew I needed a tool, but something very easy and something very short. And when I was in that inquiry, this Bible story came up online. The Bibles.
Yeah, the
the
Bible
Bible.
story.
It's called the Bible Project.
Yeah,
actually.
yes. I watched that
Yeah,
too.
you see?
Oh,
You see, and it was
watched that
easy
too.
to comprehend, and it was short and
So you were
entertaining.
inspired by that.
Yes. You're the first to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's animated.
I watched that
Yes,
too.
yes. That's what birthed the Filipino story. And I said, that's how we're going to do it. And that's where a friend of mine named Alex Lacson,
I know Alex
Who's an
Lawson
author.
too. We
And-
worked together in the Institute for Solidarity in
okay,
Asia.
you know, so
Yeah.
he's a bro, he's a brother. We're the same age, and he loves his country. He
Yes.
loves his country so much, and he loves his people, and he just has this beautiful Filipino heart. And
Yeah.
I asked him, I said, bro, can you help me with this? I'm going to create something like the Bible Project.
Kasama po mo
And
pala si
that's,
Alex.
yes. So he was the initial person that I was talking to, and I said, hey, do you have a historian
Yeah, I
that...
wanted him to become a senator.
Yeah, because he would have, he has all those values. Kapwa, bayanihan, kabutiang loob.
Yeah.
But he's the one, when I asked him, Alex, who do you know that can help me historically, culturally? And he goes, I have a friend named Xiao Chua.
Yeah, Xiao Chua,
You know,
the
and
historian.
I said, yeah.
Oo.
So that's how I met Xiao. Yeah. Me meeting Xiao, and I said, oh, wow, you're young.
Oo, bata
Yeah,
pa.
bata pa.
Bata pa si Xiao.
And then and then I asked him,
Pero
I said,
magaling,
can you recommend an animators and artists? And he said, I only have one, Bani Logroño. And that's how I met Bani, and that's how I met Mai.
And Bani is even younger. When I first met them here, Bani and Mai,
Mai.
I was looking for Bani and Mai. But then, Bani and Mai were in front of me pala. Because I was imagining that these are older people, you know.
Yeah.
Their
But
work
they're really young,
yes, young, ultra creative,
Yes.
sobrang bait.
Ah,
too.
yes. Oo.
Yeah, that kabutiang loob lives within them.
Yeah. Oo.
And it makes it very easy to work
Very
with.
inspiring, these two young people. By the way, Mai is here with us today. Where's Bonnie, by the way? We will pause for a commercial break. When we return, we're going to talk about our heroes, our favorite heroes. Wag po kayong aalis, babalik kami. pa rin ay nanonood ng So to Speak at kasama pa rin natin sina Tony Olaes at Josie Castro. Okay. Meron yatang mga comments sa Facebook, ano? Eto. Ito yung mga sinabi dito. Para sa akin, ang bayani, ang lahat ng lumalaban ng patas para sa ikabubuti ng ating bayan. Ang sabi naman ni Angelica, Faye, modern heroes ko po ang mga alagad ng media na patuloy pa rin naghahatid ng katotohanan kahit na may kontrobersya ngayon, no, na ang media ay nagpapabayad. Tunay na bayani talaga ay mga Pilipinong patuloy na lumalaban kahit ang sistema mismo ay hindi patas. Sabi naman ni MC, para sa akin, yung mga bayani, yung mga lumalaban sa katiwalian, lalo na sa mga flood control projects. Salute to all the mayors na handang maging transparent. At yung isa naman, patuloy na lumalaban at hindi nawawala ng pag-asa ang bawat Pilipino, lalo na yung mga kabataan. We do not need to wait for hope. We must be the beacon of hope, sabi nito, kabataan. Maraming salamat sa mga nanonood sa atin at nagko-comment, no? Kanina, before the commercial break, I asked you kung sino yung heroes ninyo. Do you have a particular Filipino hero in mind? Yung mga napalabas sa The Filipino Story na paborito mo? For example, when you were young, Tony?
I grew up in America. I didn't know Jose Rizal till I was in college.
Yes.
But it would still have to be Jose Rizal. Right? Because
What about an American hero?
boy, now you got me on. Who was my American hero?
I watched
I mean,
the history of the Americas.
But we're all just kind of, you're there to George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, right? Because it was all in your curriculum.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I had
Any ordinary person, like your father or your mother, an aunt or uncle, probably? Or anyone older than you, or your teacher, perhaps?
I don't want to lie.
You don't want to lie.
I mean, I
Okay.
respected a lot of people, but I don't know that I looked at them as a hero.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
Pinoy
Yeah, you're very
heroism,
American.
ibang klase.
You are very American.
You see what I'm saying? A hero in America is like Marvel or Iron Man.
Yeah, yes.
Right? But over here, it's everyday people.
Yes.
You know, that bayani where you're just gonna help without asking for anything. You see, and that to me is more powerful.
Yes.
You see, and that's really our goal in the Filipino story is promoting. Hey, we're different. We are great in this manner. We don't have to have a cape. It's what we do in our everyday lives to each other and to our community. That's Filipino heroism. You
Yes.
see? That's bayanihan. That's kabayanihan.
Ay, nangilabot ako sa iyo. Oo. Ika naman, Josie.
Ako?
Sinong bayani mo?
I
Yung nag-aral ka or when you were younger?
Okay. Well, based on our history, I would agree. I would say Jose Rizal. And the reason being, I love the fact that the pen is mightier than the sword because he really was able to change the minds of the Filipinos at that time. And maybe also because I have such high respect to people who write. Journalist. You know, I love it when they actually have dissenting voices to false narratives.
Yes.
And that's bravery. That is bravery. Because usually, you kind of like, you know, go with the flow. Pero itang patya, sasabihan lang yung totoo. Hanggang pang, you know, life or limb is at stake. Now that's a hero to me.
You said a while ago, heroism of ordinary people, for example. You know what? very well for the past so many decades. The OFWs are the ones bringing the money into the Philippines. Even what we call the Filipinos, part of the brain drain, those who went to, you went to the United States to work there, ganyan. The balikbayans, we call them here, including your very own parents, I think. When they migrated to the United States more than 50 years ago, they were part of the brain drain.
That's right.
Diba?
Yeah.
They've been sending money to relatives, to their family back home. And that is actually forming part of the Philippine economy. Malaking bahagi. No? That's why we call them bagong bayani. What to you are the bagong bayani? The ordinary Filipino you call bayani. Maybe those who did not offer their lives like Jose Rizal, hindi sila nabaril sa Luneta. But still to you, bayani sila. Sinabi mo kanina, ordinary Filipinos.
Right.
Who are these ordinary Filipinos to you who are doing kabayanihan, Tony?
I would have to say the next generation. The next generation, and I say that because I read a lot of our comments in the Filipino story. And a lot of them are just young. And they're all over the world, Sonia. They're just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Oh, no wonder why my grandparents did that and my parents did that. And oh, then it's my turn. It's my turn. You see how a new generation is now emerging through our content. You see, they know how great they are now. Me growing up their age, I didn't think we were great. I thought I was inferior.
Yes.
I was here. I didn't want to share that I was Filipino.
You shared that in that episode
Yes,
with John on colonial mentality.
If I
Anything
had-
Filipino was
Absolutely.
inferior.
You see? And that's what you make up because your surrounding gives that to you. But now we're giving this content all over the world for free to a new generation that's hearing what I never heard, or my cousins or my friends of my generation and the generations after us. They never got that. They're getting it now. We're seeing that statistically, Sonia.
Talaga?
They're the new bayani.
Talaga?
Yes.
I should see that too. Share those statistics with us. You're following, your followers in the Filipino story is how many millions na? Because you started with several thousands lang, and then
Yeah, I think we're across all platforms, maybe about 1.2 right now. And, we just kind of started.
Yes,
But
yes.
they're growing by leaps and bounds, and we're backlogged with content. You see, so we're running through breakdowns with just production because the demand is so big. But once we start posting up again regularly, we're going to grow. Our goal is to have about 40 million followers. And we will get there. We will, statistically, we're seeing the way how to get there. But all over the world, Sonia, all different ages, all different ages.
So this is consistent with Jose Rizal's famous line, ang kabataan ng pag-asa ng bayan. So you see, these young people will be the ones who will be saving our country
That's exactly
from
right.
this rotten system.
If we don't accomplish what me, Josie, you, what we're trying to do in our lifetime, I just feel in my heart what we've put out there in the Filipino story is going to inspire that new generation to secure it once and for all, you see. And today's social media and all the algorithms, this is everything. We're hitting a market to this new generation that's just looking at their phone constantly.
Yes.
And the algorithm feeds them. The minute they open something from the Filipino story, patay na. They're going to just get more. And they're going to learn more. And when they learn more, they're going to realize the story that we're telling is their story.
Yes, yes. And Josie, you are a Kapampangan cultural advocate.
Yes.
And you have been, you have been working hard looking for a Kapampangan translator so that the Filipino story could be translated in Kapampangan as well, ne?
Yes.
So, ininggagawan mo ngayon ni, nanay ni, magpakabayani ka. Nanay ni, why do you do it? What is it about, you're already retired, eh?
Yes.
And you're here because you're taking care of your parents.
Yes, again.
Yeah, because they are in their senior years already, no? Although ikaw ta senior tanan naman.
Wapin.
pero,
May bulgar.
pero why not just enjoy a life? Why are you doing this? Why are you, you're so busy, going to SKK, coordinating with us in the Foundation for Lingap Kapampangan, coordinating with CLTV 30 so that we could broadcast the Filipino story you want to bring to the Kapampangan Cultural Center and all that. Why do you do it?
Why do I do it? Okay. So, self-serving agenda, and that's because I guess I would like my retirement life to be a lot more meaningful. And having learned about what the message of the Filipino story, I told myself, wow, why not share this to the Kapampangans? Because it really gives you foundational. When I say foundational, it means the core of the Filipino is all over the episodes of the Filipino story. You will find your Filipino-ness in the Filipino story. And just that innate character that we have, the kapwa, the kabutihang loob,
Yes.
bayanihan. When I came home, I said, where are this? I really want to see them a lot more apparent in our society. And I do know that perhaps because of globalization and influence from social media, especially our young, there has been a bit of a problem with our identity as a Filipino. And I said, well, if we have this vehicle that we can use so that we could embrace again the true Filipino in us, I said, well, I'll start in Pampanga. And I figured your platform, it's a great vehicle to get this information out there. Yeah, kasanting sana, nung pinituloy itang atranslate keng Kapampangan, banta ka nito tugo, hanggang retang makaintinding Tagalog, makaintinding makaing English, akwade itang mensahe na ning the Filipino story.
Yeah. Oh, Tony was guessing what you were saying.
No, I was feeling the vibe.
You were
They were
feeling
good vibes.
the Kapampangan.
Kapampangan vibes. So I understood it. No, I felt it.
Siguro, let's try to define kabayanihan from your point of view. You already said a while ago that you will find kabayanihan, heroism in the ordinary Filipino. But perhaps we should describe it like pwede ba maging bayani kung hindi matapang? Ano ang mga paano ang kabayanihan sa panahon ngayon? In modern times, how can an ordinary film, for example, because you are no longer an ordinary film. No longer, because you went beyond that lifestyle that you were so used to. You grew up there, and you didn't care about being a Filipino. But once you started caring about being a Filipino, you kept coming back, and you created the Filipino story, and you're doing more and more. Kasi parang, isn't it addicting? You know, doing more? Parang wala siyang katapusan eh. You know, minding, you know, you have that, you know, some of your friends are saying, I have my own problems. You know, so why care about the problems of Filipinos without their own houses and so on? So, aren't you also being a hero yourself? Isn't this thing that you are doing a form of heroism as well? Or you don't want to think about it that way?
I mean, nakakahiya, right? I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm a hero,
nakakahiya,
right?
okay.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
nakakahiya.
and it's to say that is not Filipino. that I'm going to boast about my heroism. It's American. I would do that.
Yes.
But I live in two worlds, Sonia. I have my American life, and I have my Filipino life, and I choose Filipino, and that's who I'm being. And who I'm being is kapwa,
Yeah.
bayanihan,
Yeah.
kabutihang loob. That's my Filipino-ness. There's no confusion looking in the mirror. I see a Pinoy.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is be Pinoy with those values. Even sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes the American side wants to come up and go, oh, you know,
Ayoko na.
you see?
Oh, yeah.
But again, it's going back and forth. I can go into, I'm going to call it, to America and be in the Matrix. I don't know if your viewers watch the movie
Yeah,
The
yes,
Matrix.
yes.
But there's two different worlds that you're fighting. I can live in both worlds. But I choose this Filipino way of being because it makes me complete here. And so when I do Filipino-ness and be that, and I do Filipino, that's just normal now. There's really no, oh, I gotta do this, and I gotta be a hero, and blah. That's kind of this American side. What we're doing in the Filipino story is just saying, hey, this is what it means to be Filipino. And this is our greatness. And this is what the world needs to know, is our greatness comes from each other doing these simple things that allow us to do this. You see, and that's where I feel in my heart the future lies.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether you support the Filipino story or you're bagging on the Filipino story, because there's haters. But I tell my team, we're all Filipinos. We cannot make them wrong. Otherwise, you would have to make me wrong before, because I hated being Filipino. You see, everybody's on their own journey, you see, and we're just going to accept them wherever they are. And you will turn because you're Pinoy.
That's right.
Yeah. And Josie, ketang Kapampangan, atin tamong ausa na Kapampangan diaspora ne. Detang ikayo retang atsuking America, for example. Dakal lareng Kapampangan keng America na part of the Kapampangan diaspora na who are interested in, for example, doing what you're doing, for example, itang contributing to the halimbawa, amanong siswan, yung culture natin. Dakal lareng makanyan o alalang o mapilan lamo. Kasi in concern mi ngeni, itang nung makanano kaming makapag-reach out kareng Kapampangan all over the world, so that, you know, itang fielding connection da, keng karelang balen, kapamilatanan yung pamagsalitang Kapampangan, balo din kultura tamo, makanyan. Akakit mo, nadakal kang ayagkat karela para gawan din gagawan mo?
Palagi ako, nung atin tamong apakit at talagang itang budding. Balo kayong Kapampangan, sorry.
Sige, yeah.
Nung ating budding movement kene, na invigorate again the Kapampangan culture and arts, palagi ako, especially nung ating tamong hub, And kaburikoping inipingabalo ko na ing SKK is now, you know, operational. And how nice na atintanang hub for our Kapampangan culture. So, palagi ko, rin king Kapampangan keng Amerika, nung sigurong abaludang ating movement na makanyan, makyabela. Uling sabihan kung tutuki ka. Talagang ating Kapampangan pride. Atin. And in fact, in the US, the moment you hear someone speaks in Kapampangan, you cannot not recognize, give recognition, and you just say, and of course, the first thing you ask is, taga mo ka rin ka? And usually, you know, it points to a town in Pampanga. And then the next question is, nang apelyido mo? And then, next thing you know, somehow, you find connection. No? So ako, hopeful ko na nung ayong ganyata talaring Kapampangan in the US, and apakit tamo, ating makanining malilyari Pampanga, palagi ako marakal sumuporta.
Especially the young siguro, because, you know, I really believe in what Rizal said. Na talagang noon at saka ngayon, talagang kabataan pa rin talaga ang pag-asa ng bayan. Sila talaga yung sasagip. Sila yung kinabukasan di ba? So, I think, you know, the Filipino story has a, you know, when you had that in mind, and when I saw the animated series, I said, tama tama yung, you know, like that Bible story, di ba? Yung merong magigising sa'yo because it tells you about, you know, the positive things na nalaman mo, that you learned about your past, that will make you want to be part of that, di ba? Like what you said, because, you know, when you watch the American television when you were young, you only saw the kidnapping, the bad things that were happening, madumi, makalat, corruption and everything. Of course, corruption happens still now, you know, maybe you have been watching or reading newspapers lately or social media, ghost projects, so many graft and corruption cases all over, no? But still, you want to be part of a movement for change. So you go back to the fundamentals, and you're saying that the fundamentals are making the young know that Filipinos have this set of core values. When we go back to the core values, we go back to the, you know, the basic, then doon mo mararamdaman yung pagiging Filipino. And it's funny because many years ago, 20 years ago, I met Philam also who immersed. But we were part of the political movement then. We were young, they were very young activists, and, you know, I was in my 30s at that time when I met this bunch of Philams from Los Angeles who came here upon the prodding of their former professor who spoke at the UCLA when he went there to you know, talk about the Philippine situation. These young people, they came here knowing that, you know, it was dangerous, but still they participated in that movement because they wanted to bring about change. So they joined rallies and they joined our campaigns. At the time, we tried to put an end to the corruption in government. Of course, nagpapatuloy pa because of the political dynasty. You see more and more Philams getting involved even at a distance because of social media. Because that's your platform. Tell us more about it. How do you see the Filipino story, you know, perpetuating this Filipino story among Philams in the future?
Yeah, I just learned this quote from Steve Jobs, the late Steve Jobs, that the storyteller is the most powerful person on the planet. The storyteller.
Yes.
You see. And why? Because the storyteller gets to communicate and inspire and provide a vision, a set of values, and an agenda for the new generation. And that new generation lives on that phone. We're telling that story, their story, whether they know it or not, in its shortest form, whether they're swiping, that algorithm is going to feed them their story. And it doesn't matter if they're 100%, 50%, as long as they watch one thing, they're going to know their story. Their story told by Filipinos, not by someone else. And you see, and when they know their story and they know the genesis of it and the beginning of it and why we are the way we are and why we're so great, then they're going to look at that and they're going to read it and say, I'm great too. And I'm going to be great. And I'm going to be Filipino.
That's the part I really like about the way you did your Filipino story. Yeah. I keep watching them actually.
Good.
Parang bata ako, no? Because they're animated, eh.
Yes, yes. You see, Sonia, when we started, we designed it for an 8-year-old. An 8-year-old.
Parang 8-year-old pala.
Yeah. No, but the data came back and it said 8 to 80.
8 to 80.
Yes.
So, kasali na tayo.
Sali tayo.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Kasali na rin pati yung tatay mo.
That's right.
Yeah. It's a new time now, Sonia. It's a new time. And that new generation, we needed to provide something for that new generation. And we're going to where they're at.
Yeah, so mag-post muna po tayo para sa commercial break. At babasahin ko later on yung mga comments na nakikita kong pumapasok sa ating Facebook. Huwag po kayong alis, babalik po on So to Speak. Welcome back to So to Speak. Magbalik po yung So to Speak at kayabe tayo pa muna ni Josie Castro at Itoni Olaes. At kanina napag-usapan natin yung tungkol sa modernong bayani at papel ng kabataan, no? Merong pagtingin na, di ba, meron ng artificial intelligence, di ba? Meron ng, yung andaming misinformation, disinformation. Dahil yung, kabataan, young people are always, nakababad sila sa social media. Parang labanan din yan ng ng good and evil, parang gano'n. Because social media in itself and artificial intelligence in itself, they're not bad. It's how we use them that, doon pumapasok, the ethics, yung kung mabuti or masama, no? If you use them for evil things or for good things. In the battle between good and evil, when you look at social media, how social media is being used to spread lies, even in the U.S. and also in the Philippines, what are the chances of us, or you, for example, winning the battle?
Yeah, it's a really, really good question because of the power of artificial intelligence. Okay?
Yes.
And this is what I tell people. We're lucky. We've been around for 5 years, and we started this thing in May last year. And we have over 1 million followers, various platforms wide, and growing. There's an audience of trust in us, in what we're communicating. And I feel this new generation, through all of the stuff, the new stuff that AI is going to generate, they're going to have to trust certain groups, certain platforms, certain... for us, we're just lucky that we started before this wave of artificial intelligence, that they subscribed to us because it meant something to them. So now they get to go to a platform and learn who they are and know that it's not artificial intelligence that's creating our content, that it's the truth. And that's our commitment, is to tell our Filipino story to the whole wide world from generation to generation and continue to build that trust.
But are you not open to using artificial intelligence to support your production, for example?
Yeah, and artificial intelligence isn't bad. It's like a hammer. You go, pok, 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 right? And you use it. But if you do that on somebody's head, iba, right? We're not here to do that. And we're using a tool for the good of it, and it's amazing, the tool. But we're not here to be irresponsible with that tool, you see. It's part of the new day. It is what's going to allow the world to get to another level of excellence, okay? And that's all it's going to continue to be for us.
And aside from Bonnie and Mai, who else are in your team? Are they all young people? Are you the only senior among them?
Yes. No,
I
I got Josie with me. No, there's the team is pretty young.
Yeah.
The team's pretty young and growing, and it's this isn't mine. You know, this is for everyone. And I'm going to do my best to guide it for now, but I ultimately, Sonia, would like to step back, right? Because it's, I'm not going to say I understand this new generation. All I want to do is tell our story in the most truthful, most inspiring, most entertaining way, okay? And then step back and let the new gens take it and run with it. See? But the wisdom's out there.
Yeah, but this is not business for you, right? You're actually spending your own money producing this and producing. We know about producing because we are a TV station and we know how production can be really very costly. It can be very expensive. Of course, you earn American American dollars, so we know that you have the firepower to be able to produce such a because when you do animation, di ba? Ano yan di ba?
It's
Mahal yan
and it takes
Animation
time.
is expensive.
It's a time-consuming
Time-consuming.
way of communicating entertainment. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You see, and yes, I've been funding it since day one, and the intent is not to fund it, right? Because otherwise it wouldn't be Filipino. Filipino was bayanihan. Everybody does a little bit, and it's going to get there where people are going to come. We haven't asked for any money yet.
Yeah.
I've told the team, not yet. Let us keep putting our content out there. Akong bahala. Let me pay for this for now. But the future is, the new generation is just going to come and say, oh, I want to be a bayani too. I want to be Filipino. And bayanihan is us being heroes for the greater good of country.
Yes,
I
yes.
know that. And it's just a little bit. And that's going to come. And that's the time where I get to step back and just say, honey, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to relax a little bit. But right now I have work to do.
Yeah, Josie, where does Tony gets his hope? Pag-asa. He's very optimistic. Kasi ang hirap
Well, all I
magsimula.
can tell you is Tony is a blessed man. He really is. And I think that golden heart of the Filipino, he embodies it. He embodies it. So, and I think that's really, and of course the passion as well. And just looking in the future, that hope that the Filipino will rise, with everything that's happening to our people, to our country, and the diaspora, of course. I think the Filipino story is going to be the vehicle in order to get us all together because, Tony, what's the line? We're all in the same boat.
Yeah, it when Bonnie was writing episode 1, I said, Bonnie, episode 1 of the Filipino story is called "What Does It Mean to Be Filipino?" And it's so important that the message is that we're one people.
Right.
And that was the biggest message that I got as a Philam being pushed away, saying, hey, you're an Oreo cookie. You're brown in the outside, white in the inside. And we would call the Filipinos that would come to the U.S. Fresh off the boat, fobs. But when I told Bonnie, episode 1 has to say we are one people no matter where we are born, whether we speak the language or not, that we are one people all over the world, and we had to leave because we needed to provide for our families, but we're one people. And he was brilliant by using the boat, the balangay, in the beginning.
Yes.
And episode 1 ends, we are one people
Yun
on
ang
the same
simbolo,
journey,
no?
on the same boat.
Yeah, simbolo.
Yeah, yeah.
Oo,
So we're
that's very
all literally
important,
going back on that boat where greatness began.
So, talagang si Bonnie pala yung
Yeah.
niya.
Galing.
Galing, oo. So ito, merong nag-comment. For me, bayani ang mga teachers at kasapi sa media. Hindi na lang iisa ang wangis o mukha ng bayani. Katulad ng sinabi ni Tony, ang bawat tao ay bayani na para sa paraang kaya nila, kinakaya nila, kinaya nila at makakaya pa nila. Oo. At nanood ng Filipino story to. Through creative mediums like animations, nabubuhay ang mga bayani natin. Kaya sana ipagpatuloy pa rin ang paggawa ng makabuluhang content. Sa ganitong paraan, napapakita ng mga artists and creators ang kabayanihan nila. Sa pagiging modernong bayani, hindi lang buhay ng tao ang pwedeng iligtas, pati pagpapahalaga sa kultura and history ay considered as heroic and honorable acts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ganda.
So, oo. they're really appreciating, no, itong animated series na ito. Pwede ba tayo mag-usap ng current events? So in the short time that you've been here, you've been listening to, you've been reading about, the flood control projects, billions and billions of funds being pocketed by Filipino politicians. How do you feel about that? Because you are doing something that would raise the Filipino. But coming back here, you get to see and hear about Filipino who are supposed to be leaders, elected leaders, doing this.
That's another really good question. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Everybody is on their own journey as a Filipino. Everyone. My journey was, I hated being Filipino. I hated it. But look what happened to me now. I truly believe that the Filipino is, especially the mahirap, are not destined to be poor forever. Hindi pwede. That's not our future. Something's going to emerge. But if every single Filipino is on their own journey, wherever they are, it is their journey. And their journey is there for them. And there's going to come a time where that journey is going to take them to another place. And I truly feel that place is going to be where I feel all this is going, that it's going to do that. Even if you do what you do and you take money and that's your part of the journey, that's going to inspire others to step up, you see. And then maybe make them also realize that taking all of this is not really who I am, you see. And people are going to be confronted when they look in the mirror, you see. But it's not going to stop me on who I need to be as a Filipino, you see. And that's my hope of this new generation, that they can see through the work that we do and wherever anybody is at in their journey, that they get to be Filipino now and do something now, however small it is, because we can't lose hope ever, you see, we can't, okay, and I can't judge, I can't, okay, I want to, but I don't know where they're at in their journey. All I know is my journey was hard, and my journey was not pretty, and I got to choose. And I chose Filipino in its most beautiful, most powerful, and most giving way. And I think everybody's going to be faced with that same choice. That's going to take them on that journey.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah, I believe that too. Yeah. And Josie, ika naman, well, dimdam dito sinabi ng Tony, hindi mo, makanyaning malilyari, kaya ti Pampanga, kay ba't ika gagawa kang paralan para makasahop, mag-contribute keng kultura, makanya, no, miyaliwalang proyekto rin nga isip mo, you know, the projects you're coordinating with us, keng FLKI, keng SKK. What ang daramdaman mo rin malilyaring makanyan? Alika, masisira loob?
Makadismaya, syempre. And yapin ayisip ko, it's important we introduce the Filipino story. Lalo na karengkayanakan. Kasi medyo may wala tamo eh. Medyo may saneta na may normalizing corruption, ne? May normalizing katutwan, ne? may normalizing fake news, ale. Ining Filipino story, in hope, may balik tamo kaya katamong tutong pangatawo. And itang core values tamo, akapwa, kabutihang loob, ampong bayanihan, nung ita talagang we take that seriously, siguro, tamo makahing mipakanyan keng sitwasyon tamo, lalo na ring mamahala keng gobyerno. Nung sigurong, lalo na ring kayanakan, umpisan mo na, sabihan mo karela, na kaya katamong pangatawo, impuso tamo, gintula, ginto. Unang mong uling keng mga palyari keng kaya katamong history, itang colonization, ampong introduction of other cultures na dinatangking bansa tamo, may nga impluensya tamo, may mga medyo we went astray, makanyan may sira talog. And I think na talagang iningping Filipino story, and I will go back kitang initial question muna, ot po-promote ot daralan ke ni Pampanga. Kasi, tapin itang pamanugali dapat manaliwa. And, importante, anak malatipat, turo mo na keng kayapan. And in message na ning Filipino story, totally kayapan niya. Na hopefully, rin next generation, milako itang nung nanuman ring characters, the ring bad actors tamo keng gobyerno or even in the private sector. So, in hope ko Kenny is transformational change. And kasanteng na atin tamong avenue to do this. And I really have to thank Tony for coming up with the Filipino story, because I will tell you, it will really change mindsets in the country. Especially now as we are trying to translate it to Kapampangan.
Yeah, okay.
Ale?
Yeah. My question is, di ba you created the Filipino story for films? Pero parang you're also saying that even us, Filipinos who are not films, who were born and raised here, who live here, who reside here in the Philippines, we also need to see the Filipino story, because we too, even the young generation here, or even us, the seniors, for example, kami then, we have to go back to the Filipino story to be able to feel our Filipino-ness. Is that what we're saying?
That's exactly what we're saying, because the Filipino story, the way we designed it for the film because we knew that audience didn't know who they were. It was never taught in our history books. It was never taught to us, period. So whatever we knew, we just saw it in TV. Whatever the TV said became the truth.
Yeah.
The TV was the storyteller. And guess what? We became that. But the storyteller was telling their story. It was telling the American story. It wasn't telling the Filipino story. So if it's true what Steve Jobs says, the most powerful person is the storyteller, let's tell the storyteller who they are. And that's all we've done is told them who they are. And by them knowing who they are, they have a reason to come back to this place called home, called the Philippines,
Yeah.
where it's no longer a vacation destination. Because if it was a vacation destination, you're competing with every single place in the world to go to on vacation. But if they come here because they know who they are and they want to come back to this place where they're from, then they'll come back here. And that's a hero now.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, I'm going to sit in that 14-hour flight. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to go to Mexico. I'm just going to go to Hawaii. It's no longer that. I'm coming back to home, my parents' home, my grandparents' home. And now there's real change.
Yes.
Because they're not doing it just for vacation, you see. And that's why we designed it the way we designed it. That can they feel something here, feel the truth, and let this lead them.
Yeah. But films in the context of the United States are also, suffering from, identity crisis, and they're struggling with belongingness. How will the Filipino story help them in their struggle within that context as Americans, as Filipino Americans in the United States, where there is also discrimination? How will that help them?
Yeah, it's already helping them.
How?
We are seeing that in our comments and all the information that we're getting is every single thing we put out there is for a reason.
Yeah.
Every single thing. We have to keep putting
It's helping them.
Understand who they are. They can.
So they will not be, they are no longer ashamed.
Yeah, they're no
or
longer
embarrassed of their roots, of who they are.
They know the genesis of who they are,
Okay.
who their mom was, who their grandparents were, and their ugale. And that ugale comes from kapwa. That connectivity that lives in every single one of us. They can't explain it, but we're explaining it for them.
Yeah.
The experts on our channel are explaining that. And they're like, oh my God, that's right. That's what my grandmother always does. Now I know why she is the way she is. Now I know why my mom is the way she is. Oh my God, it's kapwa. Oh, it's bayani, but it's...
So instead of hating it,
Yes.
Yes,
You see
yes,
that? It's
yes.
shifting now.
you're embracing it instead of
Absolutely.
hating
Because you
it.
can explain
like
it
what
now.
happened to you.
Yeah. That's all we're doing, Sonia. Worldwide.
Yeah, oo.
Worldwide. 8 to 80.
So pinag-aaralan nyo talaga
Yeah,
lahat
in
yan,
little
no?
bits, little sound bites. Boom, 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 boom. And that's the beauty of this algorithm.
Yeah.
It's actually doing us
So
good.
they get in touch with who they were, yung kabayanihan of their ninuno. So they will discover their own kabayanihan, their
Yes.
own
Yes.
Filipino-ness. No? Ang
That's it.
ganda.
That's
Ang
it.
ganda. Ang ganda-ganda.
That's it. It's pretty
Congratulations and thank you so much, Tony and Josie, and for your last message, perhaps, your final message to everyone who's watching us on this channel, on our platforms. Tony, Olaes, please.
Yeah, there?
Yeah.
If you haven't seen my story, you can go on to thefilipinostory.com and see my story. And you will see that I didn't want to be Filipino. But I'm here today, I'm in the Philippines because I'm Filipino. And I know who I am. And it doesn't mean I hate being American. America has given me so much. But who I am is Filipino. And even though I was born in the United States, I'm from here. And all of us are from here. And I'm one with you and you're one with me. And that's what's going to continue. So all I'm asking is share the work that we've done so every single Filipino in the world, from 1 to 100, watches what we do, because our goal is to bring everybody together. And when everybody comes together in the spirit of bayanihan, we do that. Thank you.
Dakala salamat, Tony. And final message mo karing kaya katamong kabalen, Josie.
Yung mensahe ko po kaya kayo, yung kabayanihan, yung pamaging bayani po, it doesn't mean na you have to do great acts, shed blood, defend the land. No. It's in those everyday things that we do, kalupapuning standing up for what's right. Defending what's right, even it's unpopular. Choosing pong courage over fear. Choosing pong hope over despair. Reta po, kabayanihan ito. Lalo na nung you would choose na instead po na ikayo mo yung isipan nyo, isipan nyo lang naman po rin kaya katamong kapwa Filipino, kapwa Kapampangan. Ita po ka na ako ing tutong kabayanihan.
Dakala salamat kaya Josie. Salamat. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat. So, meron ka nang natutunan na Kapampangan. Salamat.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you very much. Maraming salamat, Tony at Josie, sa pagbabahagi ng inyong kaalaman at pananaw at higit sa lahat sa aming mga tagapanood. Maraming salamat din sa inyong pagtutok dito sa So to Speak. Tandaan po natin, ang kabayanihan ay hindi lamang nasusukat sa malalaking sakripisyo, kundi pati sa araw-araw na pagtulong, serbisyo at pagmamahal sa ating inang bayan. Ako po si Sonia P. Soto at on So to Speak. Hanggang sa muli.